Hey, Tony Gas is here. Now we're gonna add this to the marriage series. I want to talk to you about this power struggles in marriage. See, so often in marriages, and one thing I've noticed, one thing I've learned from being married and also helping other couples is when we get in marriage, we get to a place of where we have these power struggles and we get in our own way because we want to, as humans, men and women, we want to make the marriage conform to our personality, because we're trying to create a situation where we can have our cake and eat it too. And what I mean by that is we want the environment to be conducive to solitude and as if we were living alone, but yet we want to be with somebody. And you can't have both. So the thing with marriage is there's going to be a compromise in marriage. And it should be a healthy compromise. But we have to understand that we are not in this alone and that everything is not going to be our way. So although we may want it to be our way, we have to realize that our spouse has thoughts, feelings, personality, likes and dislikes. And so therefore, we have to get to a place to where we can create an environment that is not just one-sided, but it's also conducive to our spouse and what they want and need. And this power struggle is really what upends marriage, and why so many marriages fail is because the couple doesn't want to give in. The woman gets some type of messaging from somewhere that tells her that it's a woman's house, and she takes it the wrong way because, you know, she hears CEO of home, and then she thinks that that means that everything should be her way and how she wants it. Or the man hears that the man is the head, the man is the leader, and he confuses that with being domineering and controlling and just overly trying to dictate everything. And we get in our own way by our misunderstanding of right from wrong, our misunderstanding of our role in the relationship. And we start to take up too much space. We want too much room. We go to doing too much. And that's where things get out of hand, because we are taught in behavioral science to sidestep the power struggle. Meaning that you don't just butt heads like rams. If you see your spouse need a little power, they want to assert themselves, you got to look at the situation and ask yourself, okay, where my spouse is asserting him or herself, if I let them have this, is it gonna hurt me? Am I compromising my belief in God? Am I compromising my morals, my values, compromising myself in a detrimental way? If the answer is no, then let them have that. Let them have that. It's just like a decision may come up, like private school versus public school. And if one person really wants the children in private school, and private school is affordable, although public school is free, you have to really ask yourself, do I really care? Yeah, I'm gonna save some money by going to public school, but what's the upside of private school in this area, in your city? Okay, the upside is my kids learning way more. The academic rigorousness is way more vigorous. And at that point, you have to say, okay, well, if my spouse feels so adamant about private school, okay, boom, get out of that. Get out of that. I'm gonna let you have that. Go ahead, you can have that. So this is what I want you to think about. What I want you to think about. Get this in your spirit and start to really process this thing. Really process this. And come to the place to where you can see and start to understand, okay, is this worth arguing over? Now, what we have to realize is that love should be a space where we remove ego. A marriage should be a space that there is no ego. There is no toxic pride. And a space where you come to a place to where you can be open with each other. Trusting, loving. You can drop your guard. You can drop your guard and you can trust your spouse. This is very important. Very important. Because see, we get stuck in this space and we don't understand where we operating from. And we'll end up treating our spouse like our enemy. And you can't do that. We'll start competing and being combative and feeling less than, being jealous of our spouse. If they in their season, if they got something going on, they doing something. And I see this all the time in marriage. But see, and it sounds crazy to the single people, because the single people be like, hold on, I told you. You telling me that a married couple could be jealous of each other? Yeah. I see it all the time. The woman doing her thing or the man doing his thing, and the other person is a stay-at-home dad, stay-at-home mom, or they might not be a stay-at-home, they might be working, but they're not in they ain't get the contract they wanted, or didn't get the promotion, or didn't get whatever, and they'll go and get upset and be in their feelings, be hurt. It's like, whoa, man, is this real? See it all the time. Competition right inside a household. So when you marry, you got to understand, got to sidestep that power struggle. And what marriage needs to be, it needs to be a competition of who can love the other person the best. Who can speak their spouse's love language the most fluently. That's what it needs to be. So if I know my wife's love language is gifts, not because she's materialistic, but just because of what it represents. It might not even be nothing crazy. It might be a $5 pen. It's the thought. It's to say, hey, you are worthy to be gifted to. I'm thinking about you. So if I know that, every time I'm able, boom, here go a gift. If I know words of affirmation, or whatever it may be, is what's needed, then that's what I gotta do. That's what I gotta do. And if the woman knows the man's love language is physical touch, words of affirmation, that's what she ought to do. Every time you think about it. Every time you think about it, you gotta commit to showing that love. Every time you think about it. The thing say Animal and Exotic Care Center. Exotic animal. But see, we don't often do it. We don't oftentimes do that. And we come to a place to where we are waiting to receive. We're waiting to receive instead of trying to give. Instead of trying to show love. We're just waiting to receive love. And here's the thing. Now, if you go into a space of rebuilding and you done had some issues, you done had some struggles in your relationship, then yeah, you're gonna have times to where you may be giving, and it feels like you're not getting. It feels like you're not getting because of the damage that's been done. So there's times to where a man may, if a man cheat on his wife and then he asks for forgiveness, she says, okay, I forgive you, we're gonna work on this. And then the man go to rubbing feet, sucking toes, buying gifts, and the woman just like, thank you. She ain't rubbing his feet. She ain't telling him you look handsome today. She ain't speaking his love language. Listen, that's a season. That's when you're in a season of the man done bankrupt the woman. The man done put the woman into the negative. So now, if the woman $1,000 in the negative and every action is worth $10, you got to serve for a couple weeks before that woman get back to zero. And then before she get in the plus. And so that's what has to be understood. And a lot of times we don't understand that because we take and do something and we realize, oh, I got to work through this pain. We got to work through this pain. We got to work through this drama. Got to work through these mistakes. Like, just ain't gonna be able to say I'm sorry, then everything, boom, voila. No. So this is where we got to get to, and it's not easy. It is not easy. But when you married and you could create peace, a lot of times it's just about sidestepping the power struggle and just saying, okay, is this really right now? Is this really worth arguing over? Is this really worth being mad of? Should I make this comment? Should I make this comment, or should I just keep it going? And that's what we got to think about. We got to be real about that, because a lot of times we don't do. We don't do what we're supposed to do. We come to a place where we're making choices from pettiness. We want to be petty. Petty Betty. Instead of saying, you know what? I know how to make somebody fall in love. I know how to be pleasant. I know how to be loving. I know how to be amazing. So what am I doing? Why am I being less than amazing? So you got to go to that space to where when you was first trying to get this person to fall in love with you, what did you do? When you made a mistake, made a stupid choice, did something you shouldn't have did, and you had to get them to fall back in love with you, you had to get them to forgive and forget, what did you do? And that's what we need to operate from every day. See, the problem with it is a lot of times in marriage we get complacent, and we can't have complacency in marriage. I'm gonna do a video on that, being complacent in marriage. So listen, sidestep the power struggle. Stop trying to stroke your ego and just trying to get a win, and understand that you got to pick your battles wisely. Hey, this is Tony Gaskin. If you over there in London, coming to your June 11th full day training, make sure you email support@TonyGaskin.com. Grab your seat. Not many left. A little intimate session. God bless you. We'll talk soon.